Have you ever watched Stranger Things and wondered if some of its wildest plot lines might actually be rooted in real history? You're not alone. Beneath the show's supernatural monsters and 80s nostalgia lies a chilling echo of actual government experiments, ones that are even more unsettling than anything in the Upside Down. Stranger Things gained millions of fans with its blend of horror, adventure, and conspiracy. But the Duffer Brothers, the show's creators, didn't just invent these stories out of thin air. In fact, Stranger Things was originally titled Montauk, a direct nod to the infamous Montauk Project, a legendary government experiment rumored to involve mind control, psychic powers, and even opening portals to other dimensions. But as we dig deeper, the real-life inspirations behind the show reveal a history that's darker and more disturbing than most fans realize. Let's start with the facts. The CIA's MKUltra program wasn't just a conspiracy theory. It was a real, top-secret project that ran from the 1950s to the early 1970s. The mastermind behind it was Sidney Gottlieb, a CIA chemist who spearheaded what journalist Stephen Kinzer called the most sustained search in history for techniques of mind control. The CIA's motivation? Cold War paranoia. They believed, rightly or wrongly, that the Soviets and other communist nations had already cracked the code of mind control, so the USA had to catch up. Before we continue, please remember to like and subscribe as it helps us to make more videos like this. Also check out some of the links below, which includes a membership to this channel and our other ventures. MKUltra's experiments were vast and shockingly unethical. The CIA secretly funded research at universities, hospitals, prisons, and even international detention centers in places like Japan, Germany, and the Philippines. Test subjects ranging from college students to prisoners and even children were often dosed with LSD, subjected to sleep deprivation, and forced into psychological conditioning, all without their knowledge or consent. The goal: to create mind-controlled operatives, break down personalities, and erase memories. Some methods bordered on psychological torture: electroshock, forced drugging, and even putting subjects into insulin comas for weeks, while bombarding them with negative messages. One of the most infamous cases was James Whitey Bulger, the Boston mob boss. While in prison, Bulger thought he was volunteering for a study on schizophrenia, but in reality, he was dosed with LSD every day for over a year. The long-term effects were devastating, raising questions about how much these experiments altered his mind and actions later in life. Even a juror in his murder trial later said she would have reconsidered her verdict had she known about the experiments he endured. The ethics of MKUltra were so dubious that even the CIA's own Inspector General admitted in a 1957 memo that their main concern was not the harm to victims, but the risk of public exposure. The program's roots were even more disturbing, drawing on the expertise of Nazi and Japanese torturers from World War II, whose gruesome techniques were imported to the USA in the name of science. So how does all this connect to Stranger Things? The parallels are striking. Eleven's backstory, being raised in a lab, subjected to experiments, and forced to develop psychic powers, mirrors the real-life abuses of MKUltra. The show's use of sensory deprivation tanks, telekinesis, and even the abduction of children echoes both the documented and rumored horrors of these government projects. The Montauk Project, another alleged experiment at Camp Hero in New York, takes these themes even further, with stories of abducted children, psychic warfare, and interdimensional portals, ideas that directly inspired the show's original concept. Stranger Things also weaves in symbolic layers that reflect the trauma and abuse experienced by real-life test subjects. The Upside Down, for example, can be seen as a metaphor for the hidden wounds and psychic scars left by these experiments. The show's animal symbolism, numerology, and references to monarch programming all hint at deeper psychological manipulation and control, themes that have haunted survivors of mind control experiments for decades. Even some of the show's most disturbing imagery, like the surveillance, the non-consensual drugging, and the emotional abuse are lifted straight from declassified MKUltra documents and survivor accounts. Operation Midnight Climax, for example, saw the CIA use prostitutes to lure men into safe houses, dose them with LSD, and observe them from behind two-way mirrors. Other victims were subjected to extreme electroshock therapy and psychological torture, leaving them permanently damaged. The government's response. After MKUltra was exposed in the 1970s, most of the records were destroyed, and only a handful of documents survived. Congressional hearings forced the CIA to admit the program existed, but the full truth may never be known. Stranger Things may be fiction, but its roots in real history force us to confront uncomfortable questions. How much do we really know about what goes on behind closed doors? What responsibility do creators have when drawing inspiration from real-world suffering? And most chilling of all, what dark secrets are still hidden in the shadows? What do you think? Were you surprised to learn about these real-life connections? Let me know in the comments. If you want to dig even deeper into the hidden truths behind your favorite shows, check out the next video. And remember, sometimes reality is stranger than fiction. As for now, dweeb out.